my friends. My name is Kat, and I'm the children's librarian here at the Tewksbury Public Library in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Welcome to this week's Art Not Craft video, where every week we look at a different artistic medium and see if it's something we want to learn how to do a little bit better. This week we are going to be playing with acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is great if you're just learning how to paint for a variety of reasons. For one thing, it's super easy to clean up. As long as the paint is still wet, it will wash right off your brushes, right off your palette, no problem at all. Once it's dry, it will stay. So I'm wearing an old shirt today that I don't mind if I get paint on, because once the paint is dry, it's really hard to get off. Because of that though, the colors don't lift up like they did with our watercolor paint, so you can paint right over it again and again and again. If you make a mistake, it is totally okay, you can fix it, which is really nice. With our watercolors, you're kind of stuck. They also don't spread like watercolors, so you put something down, it won't move. It'll just be wherever you put it, and that's kind of cool. Some people will do a textured effect too, and it can make, you know, a more interesting painting. I don't usually do that, but you can. You absolutely can. You can mix things in and see what it looks like. You can use a sponge or a paper towel and get a cool textured effect. It's pretty neat. It also dries pretty fast, so within a few minutes or half an hour at the most, really, you'll have a nice dry painting, and that way you can paint over if you want more, which we're going to be doing, and it's pretty neat. I mean, it doesn't take long, and you can finish your piece and hang it up on the wall if you want to. Acrylic paint is what they use if you go to a paint night program, and they'll give you a canvas. I am not going to use a canvas because those are great, but when you're just learning, it's almost kind of stressful that you have this thing that you're going to have to hang up. I really like to use cardboard. You can use paper if you want, but it will wrinkle because the paint is wet. Cardboard doesn't bleed through, no problem, easily available. Everybody has a cereal box laying around or something like that that they can use. And so this whole project will be really inexpensive. The paint itself comes in a couple different ways. You can get it in a little tube like this, which is probably about $1 at the craft store, less if you have a coupon. Sometimes they're on sale. They come in a million different colors. Anything you can think of, you can get it already mixed like that. For someone like me, I got these. These are student quality. You get a lot more. They're a couple bucks, $3 or $4 per. But all you really need is red, yellow, blue, and also black and white. And you can mix any color of the rainbow. And if you're having trouble kind of getting that, you can look up a color wheel online, and it'll help you to see exactly what shade you're going for and where it sits between the other colors, what you might have to move in there. You really don't need a lot for this. I looked online, and there are so many things that say, oh, you don't need much. You need 18 brushes and a palette knife and all of these other. This is supposed to be fun. You do probably want a few different brushes. I am lucky enough to be at the library today where we have a huge collection of brushes, but really what you need is, you know, one that's a little bit bigger to do backgrounds, one that's a little bit smaller to do details. If you want to do really small details, you can get a really small brush. You can get a round one which makes thick and thin lines. It's really up to you. You don't need that much. You will need some paint and something to put your paint on. I do happen to have a palette here, which is neat because you can put different colors in all the different places, and you know they won't mix together unless you really want them to. You can use a paper plate. It's really okay. You can use anything you want to, really. Just keeping in mind that acrylic paint, once it's dry, is really hard to get off, so you're not going to want to use your grandma's china for this one. So we're going to make a quick little painting today. My station here has newspaper set down because, again, acrylic paint is really hard to get off once it dries. I have some various brushes here. I have a cup of water to rinse my brushes and paper towels to dry them on. I have my palette, and I've put some paint in here. You really don't need a lot. It's super tempting to take your paint and just squeeze really hard and get a big pile of it, but you really don't need that much, and you can always add more. You can have a palette knife, something like this. I don't usually use them. It is really satisfying to watch the paint swirl and mix together. I honestly just usually use a brush. And again, that's just a little bit of color with a lot of white because we're doing a pastel color here. And I can rinse that off and do the next color. Go. I was thinking, what kinds of things do I like to paint? And one of the things that's really easy but looks really cool to me is a sunset. So we are gonna do a sunset painting today. There we go. Just so I can get that kind of clean. So I would use the giant brush, but I don't think it's gonna fit in these cups very well. So I'm gonna use one that's a little bit smaller. And we're just gonna start with the darkest blue at the top of the page. And you'll see that, like we said, this is really opaque. You cannot see the cardboard underneath, so it doesn't matter what color it started out. You can do anything you want. I'm gonna put a little water on here. Water will thin it out. There we go. Makes it easier to kind of spread across the page. If you really want to, you can add a ton of water to your acrylic paint and make it more like a watercolor style if you want to. Again, I don't usually do that, but there are so many things that you can do. So I have my blue at the top. I'm gonna put some red going down. And then you'll notice that, of course, this is still wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend it together. Take all the way to the edge. But this makes a really nice purple where the colors meet, which is neat. We're gonna go down a little bit farther with this pink. And I'm rushing through this because I don't want you guys to get bored, but you take as long as you want. Make sure you have the colors exactly how you want them. Mix it right on the paper here. And then at the bottom, I'm gonna put this yellow. And that's gonna blend together to make a really nice orange. Again, if I need to mix a little bit more, I can mix a little bit more. I was a little too conservative with how much I put in there this time, but that's okay. It will not take me long to mix up some more yellow paint. Just want to make sure you can't see the brown through it. There we go. And since we went and blended all the colors as we're going, you have this really neat gradient effect from the blue at the top, purple, pink, orangey, and then yellow. I am gonna make a little bit more yellow because I want that to be a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna put some white in my palette, just a little tiny bit, and a little tiny bit of yellow. You really don't need much. There we go. That's probably more than I needed, but that's okay. Mix that up. Isn't that so pretty? There we go. That's covering a little bit better. And like we said before, this dries really quickly, especially since we used such a thin layer. And you can kind of see which parts are still shiny and which ones are not. But as you can see, I'm painting over the pink with the yellow and it's just covering. So we're gonna put a little pink here too and make it a little more orangey. I really like that orange color. There we go. So here is a nice little background for our sunset. Don't you like how that blends from the blue all the way down to the yellow? I am gonna let this dry, and then we're gonna take some black paint and paint a silhouette of a tree right over top. All right, now that this is dry, I am going to take, it's a little puffy, but that's all right. Once it's done, I'll put it under a heavy book. I'm gonna take a round brush because the end has a nice pointed area, but then it'll get thicker. So depending on how hard you push down is how thick your line is. And I'm gonna take some black paint and paint some ground here. And again, I know with watercolor, everything was very squishy together. It ran together all the time, and it was really easy to make a mistake. With this one, you can't really. I don't like that this is so smudgy on top. That's okay. I'll just smooth it out, go over it. And if I decide later that that is too much, I can mix up more yellow and go over the black. Might need a coat or two depending on how dark the color is, but that's okay. So we've got some ground here, and I'm gonna put a tree right here. As much paint on there as you want. Trees kind of come out at the bottom there with the roots, and it'll branch out. There we go. Branch out here. Just do whatever lines you think would look nice on your tree. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. Don't stress that it doesn't look like a real tree. It doesn't have to. I bet there are trees in the world that look like exactly what you're painting, even if it wasn't exactly what you envisioned in the first place. It's okay. I'm gonna make this a little bit thicker here. Here we go. And just like that, we have a tree at sunset. Now I know some of you were thinking, but I was thinking more of a coloring book paint by number situation. Acrylic is also the paint to use for that. I went ahead and drew a cute little turtle on my cardboard here. We talked about during the watercolor episode that you can use carbon paper to transfer an image, or you can color the back of a piece of paper with a pencil and transfer an image that way. Using something like this where you want it all to be the same color every time is where these little bottles come in really handy, because they are already mixed to be exactly what you want them to be. I am going to make my turtle nice and green with this color here. And we have a few different greens, so I'll have one for his face and one for his shell, and then we'll have more of a yellow for the belly. It'll be wonderful. And just like before, you just dip your brush in, decide where you want the paint, and paint it down. This is a larger brush than I probably should have used for this area, but you know what? It's okay. It's supposed to be fun. With this one, I'm actually doing each square by itself, because that way you get the little bumpy effect, but it's totally your call. Now, a lot of people will have an easel if they get real serious about this, and you'll be painting vertically. Personally, either way, whatever you're more comfortable with, whatever brush you're more comfortable with, whatever paint you're more comfortable with. If you want to mix your own colors, that's wonderful. If you don't, that's fine too. This is supposed to be fun and relaxing. I find paint by numbers to be really relaxing. It's been a long time since I've done one. And this is not a very, exciting one, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. I'm just trying to enjoy my time painting. And I can go back if I want to and add highlights or change the color. I might outline the hexagons on the shell here, but even if I don't, you can kind of see the direction of the paintbrush. You can see the paint lines. So you can still tell that it's a hexagon, even if I don't go back and actually outline things. Yeah. So you can kind of see the direction of the paint. These are all going this way. These all have the edges, and you'll be able to see the difference. I am gonna work on this painting and I will be back when it's done. And there we go. I decided I like the cartoony look of this, and I outlined a little bit in black and yellow, added in a couple details, but you know, it's just kind of like a coloring book, but with paint. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had fun. You can follow us here on YouTube for lots of other craft science and cooking videos, and you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tewksbury LIB. Have a wonderful day.